No long intro. Alright, so markets have shown a willingness to trade higher, which there's nothing wrong with that. It's against our bias, but we can still work with that. So have a fair value gap inside this bullish order block in here, and ideally I'd like to use that to go long. If the markets do want to head higher throughout the rest of the trading session, this would be the ideal entry. Small volume imbalance in here. I want to see it disregard and trade lower into that bullish order block. On a 2-minute chart, it's even more clear. Fair value gap in here inside this order block, and the fact that we have this wick gives me a lot of I suppose confidence to take the trade, because consequent encouragement of that wick is also a line of defense. Let's say if markets were to trade a bit deeper than we'd like, because we have another small BISI in here also. These are all things to consider when trying to take a trade. So I could actually find a short opportunity to go short somewhere up here into this discount, or I can wait for the markets to trade into the discount and go long. But right now, I'm looking to take the markets up here and aim for lower prices. That's actually the highest probability trade idea, because it can come down here and completely just disregard it, but it's more likely to come down than to go back up. Kind of tricky, a play of words right there, but it's one of those things. As you trade more, you'll actually notice these things. We know this BISI and this in here are very likely to get filled. So it makes more sense to be looking to go short, targeting the arrays. But once the markets do end up coming down here, it's a bit iffy, whether or not it's actually going to go higher, or if it can just trade right through that. So if I find a fair value gap in here or anything like that, I'm jumping on it. So I'll let you guys know in a few minutes how it all plays out. And here it is, what we were anticipating. I actually did go short, and I'll show you guys. Might be surprised how I pulled it off, but it's one of those things that come with time. So I went short. Give me 1 second. Remove the execution labels and such. So one contract, not a lot, but I feel very confident that this up close candle will be used as an order block to take prices lower. So this, don't want to see price trade above this, not at all. So from here on out, I'm expecting lower prices. It can go up to mean threshold, which is good. I don't mind if it does so, but we don't want to see this high get taken out. If it does, then probably means I'm dead wrong, which is fine, of course. Be aiming for this BISI in here. A little bit over than 5 handles, but here it is. Now it's time to wait and see what happens in a few minutes. I'll update you guys soon. Alright folks, so we're getting a break lower. Markets are showing willingness to trade lower. It's not fast. There's no speed in there. There's no velocity. It's not convincing. It's one of those things. Just gotta ride it out. Give it a few minutes. I'd say about 5 more minutes. And if it's still meandering around like that, I'll just close it completely. But it is showing willingness to go lower, which is good, I suppose. So we'll give it a couple more minutes to see what it wants to do. But after 5 minutes, if it's still inside the small range, I'll probably close it and call it a day, essentially. Oh God. I suppose the market's like a good ultimatum. Less than a minute and a half really after I just said that, markets decide to just sink lower, which is really good. This is cool. Now we're inside this BISI. This is ideally where you, at least I'd want to go long. And this is some of the times where I would end up getting hurt. I would go long in this, but what am I aiming for? Buy side liquidity. Even Michael mentions there's, I think it was 4109 or something like that is what he'd like to see as a upside objective, but that's not within my periphery. That's not something I actually see. There's no imbalances up there that I can visually conceptualize to even take a trade. But based off of this order block alone, it just makes me want to go long in here. And this is some of the times where I'd end up getting hurt. That's why I decided to take the short here, aiming for the inefficiencies in here instead. Because to me, these are way more high probability. And those are some of the changes I made this past year. And that's why I'm able to actually record these trade executions with so much confidence, because it's rare to see the markets leave these intact, especially not around a time like this. You know, that 10 a.m. macro, it really hunts for these things. And I've been doing a lot of back testing, and it's one of those things. If you know what you're looking for, you can find it. So upside objective, it may happen, it may not, but either way, this was my 5 handles, a bit more than that, but this was it, and I'll call it a day. So 2 trades, show you guys. So the executions from earlier and this one. So here it is, went short inside this order block. It's pretty tricky because it's not your typical order block looking. To actually sell it in here inside the actual order block, it's one of those things that comes with experience. I remember 2 years ago, I saw Michael do something like that, where he actually knew a price range was going to become an order block. And that was so impressive to me at the time. I was like, no way. And of course, I'm not like Michael. I'm not even halfway as good, but just to actually even be able to call something like this and have it recorded and not feel fearful about it not working, it's really cool. So if you guys are willing to put in the effort and the work, things like that are very possible. So with all that being said, have good trading. Don't push it too much. It's Friday, of course, so I'm not sure if it's going to be your typical thank God it's Friday, I think TGFI setup or something like that. But either way, if you're looking for 5 handles, I think you can pull it off between now and even the PM session. So I wish you all good luck with your trading and have a wonderful weekend.